What's up, guys?
Good morning. Good morning.
Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. We don't have coffee today.
We don't have coffee today.
You
We're
had your
empty-handed.
mud water earlier.
Yes, it's downstairs. So,
What is mud water?
mud water is, I don't know the exact ingredients in it, but it's got like mushrooms and adaptogens and chai.
Pretty sure this isn't going to work with audio held in the cushion, so I'm just going to do that.
Has anyone ever tried mud water? I am a big fan.
So
It's gonna work.
Okay. So mud water
I'm
is something
surviving
that's
just fine without coffee.
Morgan is using to replace coffee. I saw an ad on YouTube,
I bet you did because we talk about it. So
And
they're
it-
always listening.
and it said the ad was,
$2.50.
"What the f- is in your cup?"
Yep, that sounds about right.
It caught my attention.
Yes,
It's a good
I'm
ad.
doing good without coffee. I have started to occasionally have caffeine here and there, but I'm not waking up and drinking coffee on an empty stomach. I no longer feel like I need it. It's just a nice to have. So, super happy with that. Took a couple weeks to really work through that. I need some coffee right now. But
Yeah,
you're
you're doing great with it.
You just got to keep moving. It's like with anything. Anytime you're trying to develop a new habit, find a good, healthy replacement. And for me, it was like I needed something still warm in the morning. So that's why I tried the mud water. Benefits of mud water, honestly, I'm not drinking it necessarily for the benefits. It was just for me something that I knew has like healthy benefits in it, good ingredients. To help you stay focused but not through caffeine. But I wouldn't say that's why I'm drinking it. I'm drinking it just as it just fills my cup of every morning I wake up and I make something and I sip it while I'm getting ready for.
I heard Dr. Andrew Huberman he's from Stanford. He was doing a podcast with someone, I forget where, and he's talking about this what makes you crash and feel tired is adrenaline, and it like builds up throughout the day. And he said one of the things that he was studying in his lab was that, coffee, if you are a coffee drinker, or caffeine in general is like the same receptor and like the same shape as an adrenaline. And so like when you wake up in the morning and you kind of push off drinking coffee for 90 minutes, I think was his recommendation. He said what happens is that adrenaline starts to metabolize and it's not free floating in your body. Mm-hmm. And so then when you do drink like caffeine, you won't have like the crash at the end of the day because your body isn't overloaded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something
one of
like
the biggest
that.
things I was doing was drinking coffee on an empty stomach. First thing when I woke up. So it's definitely better to wait a little bit, and eat before you. So what are we talking about today?
You don't drink coffee anymore, so how can it be coffee with the Klines? That's an interesting point.
It will be mud water with the Klines. Or tea with the Klines. I still drink tea.
Yeah. What's going on in your all's world today? Happy Wednesday.
I saw somebody hit 250 camps today.
Nice.
That is awesome. Congratulations.
It's the season.
Time of year where we're seeing all the 250s.
We are.
It's an exciting milestone. Comment below if you've hit any of our Keep Moving milestones at camp, whether that's 50, 100, 250. We love to hear it. I love that you guys have set those goals and you've crushed them. We love the Keep Moving Club. We'll reset it next year so you can start a new goal.
That's the championship every year, that 250 workout mark, or the 100 or the 50. Those are like the three levels. And you just go choose a level at the beginning of the year, and that is your goal. We're all about camp consistency. And when we think about the ideology of what we can gain versus what we can lose, it's really based on how many times can you show up. Can you set a goal for camps or for a workout, and can you hit that goal? And just keeping it simple. There's something about keeping it simple. Mm-hmm. And there's not an algorithm to have an algorithm to look up a journal, to read the science. It's just like, if you show up, it will happen. What's Ryan and Carter's mommy says next year 250 camp prize equals a coffee mug.
I know, we got to create some coffee mugs.
We do.
Coffee with the Kline.
We do.
Every Wednesday. So what is new in our world? So Maxwell celebrated his birthday at school yesterday. His birthday is not until the 21st. But for any of you parents out there listening, do you have kids that have birthdays like days away from Christmas? it is always interesting because we've been able to get away with it, but he is turning 5 this year. So we had to celebrate early at school because he'll be on Christmas break. And at his school, there's a rock.
Yeah,
There's a school rock.
the glorious rock. And
Oh
you have to, it's a thing. Like you have to,
thing.
if it's your birthday, you got to have.
Gotta have it. So I have to reserve this baby back in August when it opens up. I gotta pay for it. And normally I hire a student of the school to paint the rock for us. Well, this year I could not find a student that was available. So this guy
Oh, yeah.
got the lovely task of painting the school rock on Monday night in the freezing cold.
Yeah, it was interesting.
And, yeah, so
a lot of lessons
have you ever
learned.
painted your kid's school rock, and how did it go? Because although the end product was great and Maxwell was happy, I don't think it was the experience that you thought you were going to have.
Well, let's just be real. I'm not like classically trained at any art, so painting on a rock canvas is a new experience for me. And like I can draw on paper, like no problem, but to be able to paint a rock is a whole other art form. And so what I did not do correctly, and as I'm replaying my tape, over in my head,
you might have to do this again.
I might have. There's a challenge that they put in front of me that I did not consider. They said you can't paint the rock till 4 p.m.
Right, I told you that.
You did.
You knew all the rules.
I did know the rules, but what I didn't realize was that what I should have done was chosen a different base coat, because I chose yellow and the day before, because they paint this thing every day.
Yep.
It was like bright pink and white, and so it said over my yellow coat, "Happy birthday, Ashley," still pretty like bold, and so I had to paint over it 3 more times in order to get like the surface yellow. Well, what I didn't realize is it would take about 6 hours to 7 hours to dry. So I left, this is at about 5:30, and I came back at about 8:30, and I finished it, and it still was nowhere near dry. So what he wanted me to do is paint Sonic the Hedgehog on it. Well, I'm like, oh, no problem. I got Sonic. I just look up a picture of Sonic on my phone, and I trace it out, and it's all good. But then when I go to paint it, the paint is, what I should have done is drew and painted Sonic first on Ashley's pink rock, and then done the yellow around it. That would have been like the one adjustment I could have made. But I mean, to do a Sonic rock, man, it take like 8 to 12 hours probably to like do it the right way.
We'll show you guys.
Or maybe I'm just a rookie.
We'll post the picture. You can tell us what you think.
And so it started. It started dripping, like the whole thing started blending together, and so then I turned it into I just pivoted and turned it into like a graffiti Sonic, and then I started like blending it in with graffiti marks with spray paint, and wrote happy 5th birthday Max in like this graffiti font typeface. So yeah, it was pretty interesting. Morgan like made me feel good. She's like, oh yeah, it looks good.
I mean, it was better than I would have done, but I didn't. I'm not an artiste, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was fun. But yeah, what do you guys do for your kids that have birthdays close to the holidays? I know some people celebrate like in the summer, and that's not it for us. So, any other suggestions?
I know you parents out there have gone to lengths to make your young children happy so that you can be their hero. That's my whole goal. Like he just thinks today it's like a Sonic rock. In 30 years, he's going to be like, man, Dad was like, he like spent all night painting my Sonic rock.
Shawnee says, is your rock painting better than your canvas street painting?
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know.
No,
what one was better.
Yeah, mine was pretty good.
What one was better? The rock or the canvas?
Well, the rock, because it was one of a kind.
Okay.
When we did the Christmas trees, us and the FAC did Christmas trees as a team building exercise, and we all painted the same one. So it was originally terrible, but it got the job done. Morgan, you had an all-day meeting yesterday. That seemed pretty intense. I was there for 3 hours of it. And, first of all, talk about the pivot, because I thought that was pretty interesting to wake up to those texts.
Well, we were supposed to meet at our training center, which is where we're actually at the studio right now. The training center is downstairs. Which is different than our headquarter offices. It's where the original Burn Boot Camp Huntersville was. And they are widening the road, and they hit a water pipe. So there was a total water break yesterday, and our water got shut off. So we couldn't have our all-day meeting there. So we found a local coffee shop that had this tiny little co-working space. and we rented it out real fast. And it was a nice little intimate session with our 10-person leadership team. And we still cranked away. It was actually one of the biggest pieces of feedback is they liked the space. So maybe next time we'll have to go there again. But yeah, it was fun. We had a good quarterly planning session, Q1 Quarterly Rocks planning session. So you guys, if you've been listening to our podcast or Coffee with the Klines, you know that Traction is a book that we've talked about as one of our recommendations. It's part of the EOS model, which is what we adopt here at Burn Boot Camp. So yeah, the Quarterly Rocks is part of your meeting pulse, and it's how you can set the company priorities for the following quarter. So that's what we spent our time doing off-site yesterday. It was fun.
And if you're a small business owner, or you're thinking about a small business, or you're in a corporation or an organization, and you want to bring value to the organization, I think it's very important to read Traction, because what it has done for our people, from top to bottom, I mean, from the newest location to Morgan and I, is it's given us a common language, and it's given our employees tools to be able to speak business, even though they don't have like a huge background in business or an extensive, master's degree or 4-year degree or a long internship or years of experience. It kind of, books to me take a decade and speed an entire decade of learning up into like a year. And so for what it's worth, if you haven't read Traction, just to learn how to look at a corporate infrastructure, I think it's pretty airtight book, and we have to obviously, how'd you say, like optimize and tweak it, and because we're an enterprise company, right? So we're pretty big, and so it doesn't fit exactly in, so we have to burnify it. But just get started with Traction if you're into business at all. It'd be my first recommendation. I wish I would have read that and E-Myth like when I was 20, because I didn't really get into those till I was like 30.
Yep.
Lessons learned. Yep. Take our mistakes and paint the sonic rock first, on the rock first, before you do the backdrop, and read Traction.
I love what you guys are sharing with some of the things that you've done for your kids.
Yeah.
I love it.
She said, elephant lover for life. Hi. She said, I made a train out of boxes for the Polar Express party for my daughter's kindergarten class. Took hours of work, but it was totally worth it and looked much easier. It looked much easier than when I took it on. Yeah.
All right.
I can relate, sister.
I love that.
Okay, Morg, sign us off today.
Yeah, so, all right, guys. Well, we'll be here next week, right? Yeah, because it's not Christmas yet. So we'll be here next week on Wednesday. We'll be right around the corner from the holidays. So I hope you guys are, again, enjoying this moment and making sure that it's a joyful season and not a stressful season. So if you needed that reminder today, there it is. Go enjoy the day. I hope you guys have a great Wednesday, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for hanging with us. 2 claps on 2. 1, 2. 0 for 1. 1 for 2.